What's up guys, Mel here back in the studio, and today I'm going to show you how you can sample a kick drum from almost any song you can find out there. It's super simple, and in the way I'm going to show you, you only have to use stock plugins. I'm personally doing this in FL Studio, but you could use really any DAW out there. Without further ado, let's grab a track, drop it into the project, and get started. So for this example, I'm going to bring in Mistaken by Martin Garrix and Matisse and Sideco. And here's the original track. Now you'll notice something very specific, which is that I actually got the extended version of the track instead of the regular radio edit. The reason for that is you want to get the section of the song that is the cleanest with the least elements. So of course extended mixes are going to have the intros and outros, and as you can see in this song specifically, the outro is actually the cleanest. So listen to this. Hopefully you can hear it. There's very few elements, which is very good, and it's going to mean that we're probably going to get a pretty clean sample. Okay, so once you've selected a section of the song and you're happy with it, you can just drag this down, so you're basically just highlighting only the kick. Once you're happy with your selection, you can see it's just the one instance here, super clean, just like that. We're actually going to drag this out into 3 different versions. So I'm going to go like this, I'm going to say make unique, and we're going to do this to 3 different kicks. Now what this is going to allow us to do is, I have already done this, but you're going to set up 3 different channels in your channel rack, and you can see this is sample low, sample mid, and sample high. What's critical here is that on sample low, I have a low cut starting at 120 Hz, so it's only letting through the low frequencies. On the mid sample, I have it going from 120 Hz to 2500 Hz. That's only letting through the mid frequencies. And then on the sample high, I have a high pass starting at 2500 Hz from where the last mids picked up, and then that's only letting through the high frequencies. So we're just going to route these channels here. It's going to be channel 1, channel 2, and channel 3. Now this is what it sounds like. That's the lows, that's the mids, and that's the highs. Okay, so now that we have our samples separated out into the low frequencies, mids, and highs, that's going to allow us to individually control those parameters of the volume based on each of those frequencies. So we're going to go back into our mixer here, and you can see I have these fruity balances. I'm going to say create automation clip, and I'm going to do this for the lows, mids, and highs. Now we're just going to start this one at a time, and basically the idea here is you want to retain as much information of the individual sample without letting in the other noise from the other whatever instruments are in there. So usually for the low, it's pretty easy. You can leave quite a bit of the information there. So I'm going to leave it pretty long. Let's see how that sounds right there. Okay, sounding clean. Now I know the mids are going to be a bit shorter, and I'll show you in a second. If you don't have it short enough, then you'll start hearing the extra noise. So let's try that. We might hear some noise. So you can hear there's noise on the sides, so we'll make it a bit shorter than that. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Let's play those together. We'll leave it like that for now, and let's move on to the highs. For the highs, if you don't know how a kick works, it's basically you have the low frequencies are the ones that are extended out very long, and the high parts, or the high frequencies, like the transient part, is usually that very short click. So you can really take out a lot of this information here, and you can make this top part very, very short without actually losing any information. And you'll hear that even if I extend it out, it's really not much different. Okay, so let's play it all together now. This is the original sample, and this is our cleaned up sample. Right, so already it sounds pretty good. Now, I want to tell you one key thing that I haven't seen a lot of other people talk about, and it makes a massive difference in terms of getting the sample from just okay like this to sounding really clean and sort of finalized. So let's jump back into the mixer. As you can see, all 3 of these channels are routed to this sample bus. That allows me, if I want to, I can control the EQ and compress these all together if I wanted. But the important thing here is the mid side. So I'm going to load up this patcher here. Load up patcher, and then from patcher you can set the preset and select mid side. Now what this does is it basically separates out the mid frequencies, so any frequencies in the center and any frequencies on the outside, on the stereo. So what I'm going to do is I'll open this up. We don't want to do any of this weird compression stuff. Now, if I lower the volume on my mids, listen to how much noise there is on the sides. That's a bunch of garbage that we do not want. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to raise the volume of the mids back to normal. Instead, we're going to lower the volume of the sides. Okay, do you hear that difference, guys? So I'm going to turn it off and then turn it back on. Here's without. And here's with. So that's going to take out all the unnecessary frequencies on the sides because, as you know, a kick is just in the center. So that cleans it up a ton. And once that's back on, we're going to make sure that is on so we're only getting the center frequencies. Now we can finally go back and start cleaning up, adjusting these volume automations just ever so slightly. Okay, so I've gone ahead, I've taken just a couple minutes to fine tune everything to my liking. And with that, I think I'm happy with it. And let's just take a before and after listen, the original sample versus our sampled kick. Here's the original. And here's our kick. Now that we're happy with the sound, we can go back here. We can go into our sample bus, and I've set up an Edison or sound recorder. And you can just say new sample, and then I'm just going to sample this a couple times. Just like that. Now we can just go ahead and save the sample. Okay guys, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something today. I love doing this, and in fact I've been sampling kicks almost all day. It's super fun and you can get some really great results depending on what songs you have, and I don't know, it's just something fun to do. You can add it to your sample library, build up a sample library, and use it in future songs. So thank you so much guys for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave that down below, or find me on Instagram, or you can find my email in my about section. Otherwise, my name is Amel, and I'll catch you guys back in the next video. Cheers.